All right, Zein Basravi is live for us now in Doha. Zein, before I ask you about Qatar's image on the world stage as a mediator and all that's going on in the region, I want to ask you first about the fact that it was just a couple of moments ago that, well, actually, I think there are some explosions happening right now.
Yep,
please tell our viewers what you're seeing in the skies above Doha.
So just above us, overhead, a little bit to the west of the city, we can see those interceptions, those smoke clouds that form when the defensive weapons that Qatar has, whether it's Patriots or other systems, make contact with those incoming missiles or drones. We should know in a few minutes from the Qatari government exactly what it is they intercepted, but we can see those clouds of smoke just above our head, just almost directly above, but sort of in a western direction. Now, these have become a common feature. They happen for a little while in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon, and usually in the evening. So across the span of the day, these have become almost routine. There's a rhythm to it now. And almost 2 weeks of this war, it's become a common feature, not just here, but across the GCC. And usually when we get those alarms, in about 3 to 5 minutes is when we hear this kind of boom of the interception happening. It has to be said, Qatar's been pretty good about hitting most of what's been thrown at it. Only a couple of incidents of things landing have taken place over the past 2 weeks. But that doesn't take away from the level of fear and uncertainty that this creates for residents of Doha, of other cities around the region.
Yeah, Zein, and I just want to zoom out for a moment and talk a little bit more about Qatar's image on the world stage when it comes to a mediator. You know, it's been coming under direct attack from Iran more and more. How is Qatar's posture at the moment when it comes to mediation efforts, when it comes to de-escalation?
Well, even in the midst of being literally in the middle of a fight that it did not pick, of a fight that it tried to stop, of a fight that was brought to its doorstep, to the doorstep of all the countries in the GCC really in the last 2 weeks, with Israel's invasion of Iran, with Israel's attacks on Iran, with the United States going in and attacking Iran as well, something that Qatar, Doha, and other countries in the GCC very openly, publicly discouraged and in the background try to diplomatically stop from happening. They continue to say that the only way this fight ends is at the negotiating table. You can't punch your way out of this fight. It would be too costly to everyone in the short, mid, and long term. And what we're seeing is Qatar do what it's done all along. Push for de-escalation, push for diplomacy. I just want to look at a couple of things with you. Iran says it's going to use stronger and bigger bombs. Escalation. The U.S. has warned it's going to intensify their actions against Iran. Escalation. The U.S. is hitting Iranian boats, it says, are in the waters of the Strait of Hormuz for mining. That's an escalation. The price of oil going up more and more, even with efforts to try to release reserves to control the market. It's still an escalation. British Airways has canceled a bunch of flights to destinations in this region, and missiles and drones have become such a common feature, this sort of very curated image in the Gulf Arab world of a safe place to live and work. That's been blurred and broken. Even last night in Qatar sounds like this throughout the course of the day, ballistic missile and drone interceptions. Even with all of this, in the face of all these escalations that Qatar has warned about for a long time. That's why you heard the Qatari government say, this is an I told you so moment. They continue to front load the idea of de-escalation and negotiation. I mean, if we look at the latest example, perhaps, of Afghanistan, a war between the US and Afghanistan lasted 20 years. They were at war with the Taliban. When they needed an off-ramp with the Taliban, when they needed a diplomatic staging ground with the Taliban, they turned to Qatar. And that is likely the role Qatar is going to play going forward to try to de-escalate and find an off-ramp in this conflict.
All right, that's Al Jazeera's Zein Basravi live for us here in Doha. Thanks so much, Zein.